On Saturday, Donald Trump traveled to Pennsylvania for a rally that, as per usual, immediately went off the rails. But this one is a little bit different than some of Donald Trump's other rallies, because this one went off the rails. Donald Trump went into this incoherent rant about how he's mad that the media says he goes on incoherent rants. This lunatic was actually rambling about how he doesn't ramble. Let me read you just a portion of Donald Trump's ramble about rambling. Here's what he said. I heard the other day, and this isn't anything, I'm just saying. Okay, we're off to a bad start already here, folks. I heard the other day, and they're just saying this. It's just a thing that people say. Some people can say things, and other people don't say things, but things are said by people. You're already stumbling out of the gate here, bud. Let me try to start over. I'll see if I can get through this. I heard the other day, and this isn't anything, I'm just saying, they'll say he was rambling. I don't ramble. I'm a really smart guy. I'm really smart. I don't ramble. Yeah, I mean, that whole 4 sentences there, I don't ramble. I'm really smart. I'm really smart. I don't ramble. Yeah, totally not rambling and definitely super smart right there. But the other day, anytime I hit too hard, they say he was rambling. Rambling? I get up and I make a speech. I go for sometimes 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because, people are waiting outside for 3 days, 4 days. Totally not true. Nobody's waited for 3 or 4 days to hear you speak. You guys were waiting out there for a long time. Front row Joes are waiting. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know why you guys do it. And I feel I have an obligation to speak and speak in a certain way and speak a little bit longer. How would you like it? A guy's waiting with his family for 3.5, 4 days. Again, not happening. That has not happened. They have a tent and the tent is set up. Yes, because if you just brought a tent and didn't set it up, then that would be totally pointless. But they have a tent and the tent is set up. So kudos to those people for knowing how to use a tent, even though they don't exist. They have hundreds of them and they wait, and then I walk in, speak for 15 minutes and leave. I don't know, somehow would that be okay? North Carolina? I don't think so, right? Before I continue, let me point out that Donald Trump did not give this speech in North Carolina. No, Donald Trump was giving this speech in Pennsylvania. And he's addressing them as if, of course, they are North Carolina. Let me continue. They want me to speak all day. When I leave, I did one 2 hours and 15 minutes and I'm leaving and they're screaming, no, sir, more. We want to hear more. I can't speak more. What the hell else am I going to say? Our country's going to hell. That's all I can say. We're a nation in decline. Photographs of this event, where people were camped out for 3 or 4 days, allegedly, in Pennsylvania, not North Carolina. If you're camped out in North Carolina right now waiting for Trump to speak, I've got really bad news for you, but I'll save that for a different day. Anyway, photographs showed nothing but empty seats. Video showed people leaving as early as 20 minutes into Donald Trump's speech. There were numerous stories on Saturday about how Donald Trump was, of course, once again speaking to a half-empty auditorium. So in the event anybody did sit there and wait 3.5, 4 days to get in there, you look like a bunch of damn fools because you could have walked in at the last minute. You could have walked in halfway through the speech and gotten a seat in one of the first 5 rows. Nobody stayed. Nobody wanted to hear this. So I don't even know how many people actually got to hear him ramble about how he doesn't ramble. But don't worry, because Trump rambled about more than just rambling. According to Ben Meisalis of Midas Touch, he put together a list on social media of all of the idiotic and insane things that Donald Trump ranted about. He said he is a better looking person than Kamala Harris. So that was a part of the rally where he talks about how much better looking he is than the Vice President of the United States, who, by the way, is not even the same gender. So, I mean, the people that find you attractive would not be attracted. I don't even know. This is just insane. It's the insane ramblings of a madman here. And that was just the first point. He then went on to say he loves the playback controls that exist nowadays, and TiVo is the best invention. So while swearing you don't ramble, you started rambling about TiVo, which, was invented decades ago. I didn't even know people still use TiVos. Everything is kind of video on demand now. He said VP Harris laughs like a lunatic and therefore she is prohibited from laughing. Cool. So now, in addition to controlling women's bodies, the Republicans also want to control when women cannot laugh. So you're not just controlling their bodies, you also want to control when they're allowed to laugh. Yeah, that's totally going to win you some more women voters. He said Time magazine didn't take a good photo of VP Harris, so they needed a sketch artist. This makes him upset. He is now upset that VP Harris looked like Sophia Loren or Elizabeth Taylor on the Time magazine cover. He said Biden hates Kamala. He hates her. He said he should be paid $100 million for Biden being replaced by VP Harris. Weird. He randomly just said the name Barack Hussein Obama. He said climate change is good because it will give us more beachfront property. He said our country will die. He said he hopes we enjoy an economic depression, even though there are no economic indicators showing that we are headed for a recession, much less a depression. Last week, I was able to go on the Dan Abrams program on News Nation, where they asked me about Donald Trump's press conference from last Thursday. And luckily enough, I was actually able to deliver my talking point that I've been using here. I've been using it on Fair and Balanced. I've been using it in other interviews. But it is this, that we need to not look at these things that Trump says as ramblings or rantings or even lies. We need to look at each and every one of these things that he says and does as symptoms of a severe mental illness. And I stand by that statement. And I'm going to say it 1,000,000 times between now and the election, because that is what these are. He is out there supposed to be campaigning for president, and instead he wants to turn it into a beauty pageant. Like, I'm more attractive than she is. All right, let's move on to the swimsuit competition then, man. Let's see what you got there, right? I mean, this is insane. Insane rantings from a madman, and the media is not covering it the way that they need to be covering it. They need to talk about all of these things that I just listed off that, of course, again, came from Ben Meiselas on Twitter. They need to talk about these as symptoms, because that is what they are. These are not just random, incoherent rantings. They are showing us cognitive degeneration, not decline, degeneration. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you were to give this man a CAT scan right now. His brain would probably look like Swiss cheese. Okay, I know Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talked about having a brain worm. I can't imagine the kind of parasites that Donald Trump has making a home inside his cranium. But this is what we're dealing with. No wonder Harris is surging in the polls. She doesn't even have to do anything and she would surge when you're up against a lunatic on the other side. Because that is what Republicans have. These are their talking points, and these people, with Trump as their leader, are nothing short of insane. America's Lawyer has launched its own YouTube channel. Now, this channel, of course, is still in its early phases of development, but you can help grow it by subscribing. Just go to youtube.com/TheAmericasLawyer, and you'll get all of the great content from Mike Papantonio and myself that we produce every single week.